Hello and happy Halloween on this 4th of November. Well, you know, Halloween was last week, but I always put these up on Monday, so this is the closest day to Halloween. I did finish these Halloween-themed minis by Halloween, actually. Can't prove it to you, but, well, you'll just have to trust me. So, what's Halloween-themed about them? Well, they all have pumpkins. In this case, Sophie is sitting on a jack-o'-lantern and dressed in this miniature is called Sophie in cat costume. So she's got the cat ears, and I don't know what else is. Well, she's got sort of claws on, but I don't know. I painted the fingernails red on the claws. I don't know if that. Maybe I should have done them a bone color or white or something. That could have come across more clearly what it is. I think actually I'm going to go back in and put some other paint on there. But otherwise, I think she turned it fine. And then we have all these pumpkin dudes. These are all Reaper, by the way. Sophie was in metal. These three are also in metal. These three are bones. You can perhaps tell that the detail is a bit shallower. Yeah. Again, pardon the lighting. We're in the dark part of the year. I can't get good light, except maybe in the light box. You'll see at the end the still pics. Anyway, that was not everything. Yes, indeed. We have more spookiness. We have these translucent bones minis that I painted up very quickly and simply. Just basically, as I described, answering a comment from a viewer. There is a white highlight on these, and then a shade wash on top of it. And I'm with the shade wash, I match the color of the translucent plastic. So the green translucent plastic, I use a green wash and a purple wash for this one. I decided to paint the gear a bit metallic, as if this shade is carrying an actual scythe and a lantern. And here, hopefully you can still see, I painted the skeletons as skeletons, shading them with bone color and then shading them with skin wash, as I usually do. But then I gave them also part of the green glaze. Try to put a lighter bit of the green shade on them than on the rest of the mini, but just so it ties together, so it doesn't look they don't look completely separate, but they blend in a little bit. And oh, what's this? Zombie Bruce. It's the zombie shark, which I have painted as if it is still kind of bloody, because that looks more interesting than just gray and green deteriorating, rotting flesh. This looks more dramatic, I hope. And yeah, I think he worked out well. And good golly, what's this? Azeroth. I actually finished him. And yeah. Took a while, and I could have taken even longer, because if you look at the wings here, and I mean, it's the same thing applies to Sophie, by the way, but even more so on these because they're so large. I could have worked more on the transitions. Some of the transitions between shade and highlight here are a little rough, but again, this is not for competition, this is not for display, it's just for use. It's just going to stand here on my shelf and then be used in game perhaps. And I think this bit starker highlights, the high contrasty thing looks effective. And I added some blood effects to the cleaver because it was so plain. It was just a flat metal surface. There was no texture on it, nothing at all. And so, yeah, I had to do something with it. Did not do that with the sword though, because the sword is interesting enough in its own right. Yeah, but finally done. So grand total of 12 minis this week. And unfortunately, these are not done. These are all the little animals from that Dark Sword / Stephanie Law Kickstarter. I thought that would be complete very quickly because I'm going to paint them very simply. And I mean, the foxes here are almost finished. But then we have the cats, we have a dog, we have some Kirin, and some sort of rabbit, and something. This little. It's a little two-piece band. It's some little dude banging a drum and another playing a weird lute. And I have no idea what they are supposed to be. And then there's two ladies in the back. Barely started. I've just done some undershading on them to make it clear what I need to paint. And there's a base coat on her hair, but nothing else. But once I spend a few hours on these, it's one evening of work max, and all of these will be complete. I just need to focus a little bit. So expect to see a lot of stuff in the finished pile next week. Let's see what's even further back in the queue. And voila, the next batch of stuff that has been prepped. It's been primed. The primer is barely dry. It's so newly done. I have not attached the cloak to this guy because I need to paint that separately, but otherwise everything is done. And we have some bandits, we have some monsters, and we'll have some fun with these. Probably even a few of them will be complete. I think for tonight to bring to the store, I will bring the Stag Lord because he's kind of amusing. He's supposed to be the leader of a bandit group based in a forest, so that's why I placed him on this special resin base to raise him up a bit. It's a very he's going to be really high up to make him more impressive. Transportation might be iffy because the left hand with the bow and the horns, they're just super glued in. If they get jostled, they're going to break off, but we'll see. And I might bring like one of the bandits, like maybe this one. She looks kind of interesting. And how about this pile of treasure, just to get some variety in what I'm painting tonight. But as I said, we'll see. Finally, we need to add some new projects to the queue, and I've had to quickly revise my plans because I had received a notice that a package arrived which I knew was from a Kickstarter with some miniatures in it, but yeah, I'm not going to go through all the details here, but the Swedish Postal Service is completely screwed up when it comes to import packages. They're just utterly incompetent. I have not managed, suffice to say, to get my hands on this package. Hopefully by next week, but we need to preempt this with something else. So first off, for next Monday's store painting project, I've picked out a couple more of these Discworld minis. I painted a couple of those before. Again, these are characters that I don't know. They're from later books than I've read. Tolliver Grote is the name of this old man with a cane and some sort of funny hat. And Grebo is the name of this guy. I think Grebo is the dude, and he has a dog. So this is actually 3 minis. And we'll see. I don't think they have... I don't know if there's any bases in here, but we'll figure it out and do something interesting with those. For painting at home, I dipped back into the fan favorites box, the expansion from Bones 4, which holds a variety of stuff with no unifying theme. So what I picked out was, first of all, the only sort of normal humans in the package, which are these two cavalrymen. Well, one cavalryman and one knight of some sort. This guy has this horse has barding. This one does not really have it. Then there is a bard, I believe named Isabel, and her little dog. Her little doggy. So that's the theme. People with dogs is the theme this week. What else did we have? Well, they had a couple of. This might seem like humans at first glance, but they're catfolk. They're anthropomorphic cats, cat people. Which is not something I'm really a fan of, but hey, I've got these minis. Why not paint them up? Then we had the simplest monsters in the box, which are these two giant grubs. And finally, a mimic. And I'll take this one out of this package actually so you can see it more clearly. You know, my idea when I first saw this is that it's a big comfy chair that has transformed and is a mimic. But the Kickstarter image actually says it's a bed, a mocking beast bed. So that means it's like a this is the upper half of it that has reared up, so it's turned up 90 degrees like this. In which case it's a 6-poster bed. It's a bed with 6 legs. These 2 and these 4, which have transformed. It's a 4-poster bed because these are the corner posts then. But odd. It has this big gap. It came pre-assembled like this. It's clearly it's 3 pieces. This top thing is a separate piece as well, or 4. The base, bottom, up, perhaps, and maybe something here is also attached. But it's been factory assembled, and there's a big crack I need to fill and smooth out. That's going to be most of the work on this mini, I believe. So yeah, hopefully these will all be prepped and primed by next Monday, and everything else you've seen previously in this video will be finished, ideally. Join me next week to see how that plan goes. For now, this episode's over, so just click like after you've seen the finale with all the still images, or you can click like now. You can subscribe if you haven't done so. You can comment, and most importantly, be back here next Monday for another Ramble from me, Dakian, who is now signing off.